Here we are, another round of hop on calls. This week was let's talk about the elephant in the room. This week was scheduled to be Maria Bras. Okay, Maria Bras was going to come on. She's
I'm
going to
not
make
ever
dials
yet.
with us.
Sorry.
We promoted the event with Maria. We love Maria. She has a sick child at home, so sending out all the love to Maria. It was a last second thing that she can't make it. So enter Jack Knight. Jack, how we doing, man?
What's up? Hey, I'm no Maria, but I will rip some dials, and this is going to be a blast.
Yeah, we're gonna have a great time. Jack, tell us a little bit about you and what you do. You have a company that you're founding.
Yeah, man. So cold calling is near and dear to my heart. All of you reps out there, cold calling, I respect you, but it's not an easy job, and it's not one you're supposed to do alone. Sales is a team sport. So Call Blitz is Zoom for cold calling. So the goal there is just to give all of you a place to call together in real time, like what Kevin and I are doing.
I love it. I love it. I actually love your product. We have ongoing conversations, which is really good because I think there's a lot of synergy here. You're going to be calling today to set meetings for Call Blitz, correct?
That's right. And I'm my own boss right now, so I get to have fun with it. I mean, I can do
Yes.
anything, and I've done some funny stuff on cold calls. So
I love that. I love that. I too am my own boss. So the own boss thing, once again, something I align with. Let's give a shout out real quick to our sponsor today, which is Kixie. If you guys haven't checked out Kixie, it's your all-in-one telephony solution. But what we're going to be using today is the sales power dialer. Power dialer enables us to reach out to up to 3, 4, 5 people at the exact same time. I'm going to be running 3 today. And this is a bit of a magic number that I've come across. I've worked with a bunch of different dialing platforms in my career. I've worked with a bunch of different teams instituting auto dialers. So I know for a fact that 3 is going to be kind of the magic number for us when it comes to reaching out and trying to get a lot of live connections with prospects, which is the goal of the show today, to have live, cold conversations. Jack, you're going to be ripping dials on your side. We'll do a little bit of back and forth here to start. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into the queue, get it started. You ready to rock?
let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. And with one click, I am dialing.
Now, is this tit for tat? Are you going to let me know when I should hit rip on my side?
Yes. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll let you know. Let's see if I can't have a conversation first, and then after I get a call, maybe you'll jump in, and we'll wait and see if you get a call. Does that sound like fun?
It's a cold calling adventure. It's going to be fun.
Right. Also, let's shout out to the San Diego Padres who are in the playoffs tonight. Let's go.
Go Peas.
Bummer for all the Philly fans out there. You guys are not going to do very well in the playoffs. We just beat the Dodgers. We're going to steamroll the Phillies, and we're going straight to the World Series. We spent about, 3/4. Oh, wow.
Pick up, hang up.
No, it was a a voicemail, and she said, "Hey, this is Aaron. You reached my voicemail." And there was that half a second where I was like, wait.
Love those.
Wait.
Gotta love those.
Hey, Beth, how you doing today? I'm all right. My name's Kevin. I'm with a company called Hopp Consulting Group. I know I'm calling you out of the blue here. Did I catch you with a minute to have a live cold conversation? That's a fair question. About what? About what? Well, Beth, I work with B2B SaaS companies to help them establish a strong calling culture inside of their sales organization. That's what I do. I leverage structure, process, and technology. I actually run my own company, Hopp Consulting Group. My last name's Hopp. Does any of this any of this resonate with you? Do you have a strong calling culture in your organization? Okay. Okay, so you mentioned you do sales training. Oh wow. Okay, all right. I might be barking up the wrong tree then, Beth. Awesome. Well, thanks, Beth. Have a great rest of your day. Okay, interesting. Beth, so she has a startup, but she also has a training element inside of her startup. So she actually complimented me, which is always nice. She said, "I love your approach. Well done. I'm not going to take a meeting, and I don't want to continue wasting your time because we kind of do probably similar things." And now, does she really do what I do? Does she really have the background in doing what I do? Probably not, right? But on a cold call, all we can do is try to bring up a business challenge or a valuable solution and hope that aligns. And it's a very small, specific time that you have to have that conversation. And the calling culture idea did not resonate with her, where she said, "No, this is something that I think I already have, and I'm not going to take a meeting." So, by the way, I'm calling only founders and CEOs. So
Nice.
you've got to kind of know your persona, right? Knowing your persona is really key. If I'm calling a founder a CEO, I'm not going to really push super hard because the buck will stop with them, and you burn a bridge right there. You're not going to get a deal done with anyone else in the company, right? So you need their support. So we live to fight another day and have another conversation with Beth another time. If you want to jump in the queue, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hit sell on my side here. Yeah, the interesting thing with that is it's okay to connect with the wrong person, but go in with that opener that you want to try because you'll at least get some feedback, some data. So if it's the wrong title, no worries. If it's not the right fit, no worries. But having that consistent approach gives you the data you need to tweak one way or the other.
That's right. That's right. By the way, everybody, if you want to hear both sides of the cold calls, there's a podcast. Believe it or not, we have a podcast here called Hop on Calls, where we're going to show you both sides of the audio. We bleep out personal identifiable information so that it's all compliant and it works. But you can learn from what's going on both sides of the call by tuning into the podcast. And here is a link to the podcast in the comments. Awesome.
All right, Kevin, I'm going to flip it back to you while I figure out my dial super quick. So let us not disrupt. Keep going.
All right, cool. I'm back in the queue. The phone is a ringing. Christopher Stevenson giving you some love for the hat. We got a strong hat game today.
Yeah, so the context there is...
Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. David, how you doing today? Yeah, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. I know I caught you out of the blue here, David. Do you have a minute to have a conversation, or are you heads down on something? Awesome. Yeah, so I guess the reason I was reaching out to you, David, I work specifically with B2B SaaS companies to help them establish a strong calling culture inside of their sales organization by leveraging structure, process, and of course, best-in-class technology. David, my question for you, does your sales organization have a strong calling culture today? You guys do? You guys make a lot of cold calls, very similar to this? Oh, this is you're not with a Voxy then. That was the wrong David.
Hey, I'll talk to anyone named David. Not a problem.
That I gave him the whole pitch and he was being very nice. And after being very nice, he said at the end, "I work for Nuclear Steel." Nuclear Steel was not who I was calling. So, look, shout out to data accuracy. I actually put time and energy into my data accuracy. So that is unfortunate, but it happens to all of us. Tell me in the comments, have you ever called a David that's the wrong David? And even better, I'm sure someone in the comments can say that they've called for a John Smith and John Smith picks up the phone, but it's the wrong John Smith. You ever had that, Jack?
Yes. And it's awkward because you slowly discover it together while you're on the call. You're like, okay, I think we're talking two different things here. So
Right.
I'm still working on my login, so keep going.
Okay, cool. I'm back in my queue. Let's see how we're doing. Ooh, good line. Mark Shalinsky. What's your role over there? I like that. I like that as an angle. The thing I would add to what's your role over there is I would not want to lead with that right in the very beginning, because there's an element of you should know who you're calling and why you're calling, right? So the way I teach SDRs is to make the assumption that your data is correct always, because most of the time, probably 80% of your time, your data is correct. And if you leverage the data that you have that's correct, what are you going to do really quickly in that call, which is really hard to do? You're going to build trust. Building trust right away on a cold call is how you get someone to have a good conversation with you. And as the folks know who have tuned into the show before, one of the things I always say, conversations are king. We're trying to have a conversation back and forth. There's no magic pitch. There's no, here's exactly what I'm going to say, and you're going to say yes right away. I'm going to get this sale. And we're not selling widgets, and I'm not collecting credit card information on the phone. So the whole goal here is to learn about their organizations. And that's, this is why I love cold calling, because you can actually learn some really, really valuable things that you just don't get if they don't reply to an email. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group here. I'm all right, but I know I caught you out of the blue here, Chris. Did I catch you with a minute to have a cold conversation? Well, my name is Kevin Hopp. Once again, I work with B2B SaaS companies directly to help them establish a strong calling culture inside of their sales organization, all by leveraging structure, process, and technology. So my question for you, would you say your sales organization has a strong calling culture? Wow, fantastic. It's actually more rare that I run into folks that have leaned into the phone. I guess the only other qualifying question I have for you there, do your sales reps, are they having anywhere from 10 to 15 cold conversations like this a day? Or yeah, outreach is pretty fantastic when it comes to sequencing. I see that if you implement a dialing solution in there, that you can actually dramatically increase the amount of live conversations. Do you guys have a dialing tool? Okay. Because what I'm seeing, so I work with right now, I have 5 clients, and what I'm seeing across a variety of industries, all B2B SaaS, right, is connect rates are very low. So about 1 in roughly every 8 to 10 dials will get picked up, right? So most of the time that your reps are spent, if they're using outreach click to call, is listening to the phone ring. So if we add all that time up, how much time in a given week are your reps listening to the phone ring? It's going to be a big number, Chris. Right. Yeah. Congrats on having a great quarter. Do you mind if I connect with you on LinkedIn? Awesome. All right, Chris, I'm going to let you go. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers.
All right.
I'm
on the hook.
Okay, so this guy thought that because they have outreach.io that like they have calling figured out, right? Which you and I both know outreach.io is a wonderful sequencing tool. Allows you to put call Jack on Monday, email him on Tuesday, reach out to him on LinkedIn on Thursday. But to the exact point that I just made on the phone there, the problem with outreach is we can do some quick math on how much his reps are literally just listening to the phone ring, and it would actually blow his mind. Like he would be, if I did that math with him, he would probably be upset. Say, you're kidding me. I'm paying reps how much money to listen to the phone ring, and that's all they're doing is listening to the phone ring. But I'm not gonna. So to Mark's point here, I'm gonna call him back in 6 months for sure. I also connected him on LinkedIn. I'm gonna take the long game approach, right? The long game approach here is to connect with him on LinkedIn, provide some value. He's gonna see my feed. He's gonna see what I have going on. He might see this recording. Who knows, right? But I'm not gonna push. And he mentioned they had their best quarter ever, right? So one of the things about sales, right? If you're trying to sell into sales, if you are crushing your number, you're not really gonna like go change process, like invest in a bunch of new stuff. Like it seems like that's not a good opportunity to push. What would you say?
Yeah, totally agree. I think too, like all of you using outreach, all of you using Sales Loft, again, great tools for the purposes of cold calling. Though, you do a call blitz, you're running that power hour, 30 dials in, you're getting tired. You've had 2 connects. One connect was the wrong person. The second connect, they weren't interested. That's not how you learn. That's not how you practice. Because if you're really going to do that, you should probably do it at least twice a day. So that's 2 hours for 4 conversations. That's not enough repetition. That's not how we learn. So, now that we've got tools like Kixie out there to be able to jump into conversations over and over, that's how we get better. That's how we practice. So connecting back to what Kevin said, you leave this state of desperation where you just really need every single meeting, and you move on to a place of conversations, plural, where, hey, it's okay if it doesn't work out. I'm going to go call someone else, get into another conversation today. So that's why Kevin's able to have that long-term vision and go, hey, that's okay. We'll come back. We'll touch them later.
That's exactly right. And Austin asking in the comments here, by the way, what was this guy's industry product? He was the CEO of a company that has a hiring platform. Now, I don't know if it's relevant. I don't know if I dropped some like industry relevant stuff there, but if it's a hiring platform, I'm sure he's talking to leaders. Like he's talking to executives. He's talking to other folks that are going to be equally as busy. Like I'm very confident if you're in B2B SaaS, you're listening to the phone ring most of the time, right? And what I've had 3 connects in less than 10 minutes of actual dialing. It's not a mistake. It's not magic, everybody. It's process, structure, and best-in-class technology, period, full stop. That's what it is, right? And you too can have this. It's not necessarily something that's untouchable. Jack, are you in the queue? Let's hear you. Let's hear you rip one.
I'm actually switching dialer that I'm on. I'm not fancy enough to have Kixie per se, but I'm giving this other one a shot, doing a new import. So gonna need 3 minutes and I'll be on.
Okay, we'll do that. Shout out Landon Meyer. Thanks for hopping on, brother.
Lando,
Gonna get you up on here one day, Landon.
show us.
You're not scared, are you, Landon? You're not scared? Maybe he is scared. Who knows? But I am going to jump back in the queue. 1 click, and I am calling 3 people right now.
Awesome.
Jack, your fans, they want you.
I'm working on it, y'all. Let's go. You want to hear me bomb some cold calls? Let's do it. It's going to be fun. And that's the thing. Like, that's why I'm wearing the stupid hat. That's why I'm wearing the parrot shirt, because we're going to have fun out here. If you're going to cold call, it needs to be fun. And what's really fun is booking a meeting and getting paid on that. But what's fun is just calling people, talking to people, having conversations. So keep it fun. If you need to, throw on a costume, get into character, breaks the ice, makes it all better.
Chuck. Hey, Chuck, how you doing? Yeah, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. I know I'm a bit of an interruption. We never met before. Do you have a minute for a cold conversation? Awesome. Well, Chuck, the reason I was reaching out, I work directly with B2B SaaS companies to help them establish a strong calling culture inside of their sales organization by leveraging. Oh, okay. I have you down as the co-founder. Oh, I gotta call your counterpart, huh? Maybe the CEO. Do you guys have a CRO or is it just a VP of sales? Awesome, Chuck. Well, sorry I was barking at the wrong tree. I'll catch you another time. Cheers.
All right.
So, once again, lean on your data. My data says he's co-founder. What he updated me on is that he's the co-founder and CTO. So he stopped me with a good old-fashioned, hey, Kevin, I have nothing to do with sales. I don't care. And I was like,
CTOs don't cold call? What is this? It's 2022.
No. CTOs don't cold call. And, I think there is also another lesson here to be learned. The lesson is like, you want to make sure that you're pitching the right people, and I leaned on my data. He is a co-founder, right? But it makes no sense for me to push him to say, well, come on, don't you care about sales? Or, you should care about sales. We're selling your stuff. No, right? Like what he makes his money on and what he does day in and day out is not sales related. Therefore, I'm going to go ahead and, call it a day. Make sense?
Awesome. I'm spun up on a dialer. I've got a list of 150 SDR managers here. Should be relatively fresh data. We're going to have fun. We're going to give it a rip. So start dialing. Here I go.
Let's go. All right. Jack is in the queue. So do you have a script written up, or are you just the founder? So you're gonna shoot from the hip here.
Shoot from the hip, hope for the best. I have a general outline I like to do. And I'm a fan of scripts in terms of, think of it like bumpers in the bowling alley. You need to have some framework, but be creative within that framework. So as long as you've got your, okay, that was not a connect. As long as you've got your opener, keep your opener consistent. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to tweak that based on data. Keep your opener consistent. And then once you get to that, yeah, sure, let's talk. Keep that value prop consistent. But have fun. Feel free to be creative on top of that.
That's right. That's right. It's the right idea. Hey Jack, you keep going for 1 second. I have contractors at my house, and they're
sure. No problem.
At my
Go
thing.
ahead.
Right.
Oh no, you all are stuck with me, and I'm looking for a connect. Hey Jen, how are you doing? This is a cold call from a fellow SDR manager here. Okay, sure, no worries. The classic picks up during a meeting. Now, last week, I had someone pick up during a meeting, but I did hear a Zoom conversation in the background. So normally I have like no grace for those people. Like, yeah, I'm in a meeting. Who picks up their phone in a meeting? I know I don't, because there's people in a meeting. That's rude. But I did hear a Zoom conversation last week. This lady had no Zoom conversation. So she just doesn't like cold callers. That's okay. We'll keep calling.
So did you got to connect, and she said she was in a meeting?
Yep. She said she was in a meeting. Gotta love it.
Yep. So this is another thing that, like, it helps to understand why are people picking up the phone if they're in a meeting, right? And it has to do with human psychology. It has nothing to do with sales, really. Like, sales is psychology, right? Like, but the reason people pick up the phone during a meeting is because the curiosity of the unknown is greater than the boredom of whatever they're doing right now. Now, if it's truly important, they're not going to pick up the phone. If you're in a board meeting, you generally don't pick up the phone.
This is Jack with Coblitz. I'm a fellow SDR leader. Can I bug you for like 10 seconds? Sure. So I'm actually cold calling you because I've built this platform that basically Zoom for cold calling. Would it be a waste of time to talk to you about how you can do live call blitzes with your team? Yeah. Totally calling you out of the blue here. So I understand it's not always the best timing on your end. You're too gracious. Too gracious. I'll let you go in 2 minutes. So yeah, fellow SDR leader, making a fool out of myself right now, calling in front of a bunch of people. But that's part of the fun of cold calling, right? So, hey, quick question for you. How many reps do you have, and are they remote, or do you all gather in an office? That is awesome, and it's probably a lot of people to manage, coach, train. What does your call coaching look like today? Is that all done through call recordings or something else? Amazing. Did you play any sports growing up? I played football, American football. I hear the accent. Soccer. Well, that's actually football. I'll give you that. So when you played football, your coach, was it more effective to have him on the field with you, giving you that coaching, that feedback, or was it more effective actually watching film after a game or something like that? 100%. So look, I'm an SDR coach at heart. That's what gets me excited in the morning. And basically, what we have is we have post call recording, like you're doing through SalesLoft. You said we also have like pre call stuff, like mock calls, tools like that. But we actually don't have a way for coaches to be on the field, and that's why I built Call Blitz. Again, I manage SDR teams. My reps were cold calling alone in their apartments, just getting hung up on all day. So we tried jumping on Zoom. Zoom sucked because you have to share audio, mute, don't mute. So yeah, Call Blitz is basically Zoom for cold calling. And the best part, it's actually free. And that's why I love calling fellow SDR leaders, because I'm like, hey, I'm not going to bug you with anything but a free tool that allows you and your team to cold call together in real time. So if you were ever down to come check it out, I'm happy to get you on the platform. It takes like 3 clicks to start a Call Blitz, and we can get your team running on it and see what they think. I will, but I know what an SDR leader's inbox looks like. Mine's absolute trash at all times. Would that be the best way to actually get in touch with you, or maybe LinkedIn or something different? Awesome. All right, Tim. Paul, I will drop you a DM on LinkedIn and a connect request. Thanks for letting me bug you. You were awesome. You said 2 minutes. I think I'm taking you over, so I want to respect your time. You're a good leader. Thank you. All right, we'll talk later. Thanks. Bye.
Boom, boom.
Bingo.
That's a long conversation.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels too long, and you can almost like when you're fishing, when a fish bites the hook, you want to pull up right away to set that hook. If you let that fish nibble your bait, then they're just going to eat it and go. So I kind of felt that tension of like, all right, I need to get off the phone. I've planted the seed of interest. He gave me an effective way to follow up with him. But yeah, long story short, selling SDR leader to SDR leader, a free platform, it's fun because they're like, yeah, what is it going to cost me? Whatever. So we'll actually see if I can get them to convert on the follow-up here.
Okay. I like that. Now, I think there were a few key moments there. Like one of the ones that I really want to highlight for everybody who's watching is he said the most classic line. And now everyone watching, stop me if you have not heard this before. Yeah, I mean, this sounds interesting. Like, just send me an email. So send me an email, right? And one of the line that I always teach SDRs is, hey, my inbox is overflowing. I can't imagine what yours is. And you said a version of that, which is the same idea, which is, hey, email is a mess. We all know if I send you an email, the odds of you replying are, 1 in 100, right? Like, email is not the way to communicate with most people who are actually busy. And you called that out expertly, right? In an expert fashion, because now you're gonna hit him on LinkedIn. You're on LinkedIn. He's gonna see that you're on LinkedIn. You're doing events like this. You're doing a call blitz later today. You got him into the right kind of sphere to circle back with them. So I thought that was
and
pro.
just to empower the SDRs real quick, like that you don't have that peer-to-peer advantage. You can say the same thing, like, hey, I know my manager's inbox is swamped. And then you can build that rapport that way. Or maybe, if you're selling to some persona, like, hey, I know my CEO's inbox is like a firestorm. So you can still use that line of thinking. And then there's also a way to take that and say, hey, listen, when people tell me that, sometimes it's a nice way of them telling me to go away. I'm kind of a transparent guy. If this just isn't a fit, I'd rather hear that now and not waste your time. And then they're going to say, like, yeah, you know what, it's probably not a fit. Or no, I'm actually interested. Follow up with me. And then you've got that like human connection there.
Yep. So the other half of this that you're going to do to differentiate yourself, Jack, is you're actually going to follow up, right? How many people listening are guilty of saying, yeah, I'll follow up with you. And then one thing leads to another. Your Slack starts dinging. You start a new meeting. You forget, and you don't have a solid process for following up. Follow up, right?
Yeah.
What I like to say, it's in my course, it's fat stacks are in the circle backs, right? You get somebody on the back around.
Dropping bars. I like it. My key there is just to write a name down. So I know I need to follow up with Paul, and then I'll just write LinkedIn, and that's it. Like, that's all I need. No CRM automation, whatever. I'll do that all later. So easy.
That's right. Which is another important point about staying in your flow. My boy Chet, who's probably listening right now, he was in the comments earlier. He's a big fan of SDRs staying in their flow. So not like stopping what you're doing right now to go update Salesforce and HubSpot and all that stuff, but instead doing exactly what you're doing, which is taking a note down, remembering it for later, and handling it after. Because you got to make sure you're getting through your calls, right? Got to make sure you're getting through your calls. Big love from Joe. Love hearing this, right?
Yeah, don't screw yourself out of a meeting. We like to talk sometimes, especially when the call's going well. We like open up and talk. Get off that meeting. Your job is to sell the meeting, not the platform or whatever it is you are selling.
Love that. Yeah, getting lots of love on the analogies. Cool. Well, I'm gonna hop back in. I wanna get a meeting.
Hop on it. Let's go.
Don't mind me as I hop onto some calls. Allison, how you doing? Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group here. I run my own company. It's called Hopp Consulting Group. I know I'm calling you out of the blue. We never met. Do you have a minute for a cold conversation, or are you like heads down on something? Awesome, Allison. I'll follow up via email. Cheers. All right. Allison was headed to the airport. Not a good time to have a conversation. She also dropped a line that I love. I generally don't have unsolicited, or what she said something about soliciting. Like, I generally don't have conversations with folks that are soliciting me on the phone. But it's funny. The phone rang and she did not know the number, and she picked it up. It didn't say on the phone, I know you. I'm your old pal Kevin. She just picked it up, right? This goes back to the point, right? Like the point we were making before your call, which is people pick up the phone when they are bored, when they have something else going on. Like, she's leaving for the airport, so she doesn't have time to talk, but she was not in the middle of a meeting, right? To Matthew's point, a lot of people will pick up the phone when they're doing something. They are busy, but what they're doing is not really capturing their attention, right? And it's like, a welcome distraction from this boredom. and a way for me to like say, hold on and pause my video on Zoom and like step to the side, right? They like that. So it's always important to check if they have the second to have the call. But Allison did not roll
dial
with
in,
it
by the
there,
way.
which is all good. You want me to hit go or you want to hit go?
I'm going. I'm in it right now.
Oh, hell
so
yeah.
far, 3 no pickups. Still moving.
Oh, hell yeah. Love that. One of the other conversations, which is really a good point here. Zishan, how are we getting 100% pickups? The fun fact is we are not getting 100% pickups, but we are getting past the people who don't pick up. How? It's not magic. It's called technology and process. If you are calling a list one by one and listening to the phone ring, there's a better way. I promise you there is a better way. Jack and I will show you the true, the way, and the light. Also, check out Kixie. Like, this is as good a time as any for me to drop this. Kixie and I partner together closely. I have a special offer that they created here. I'm going to drop it in the comments section. You can go check it out for free, and there is special pricing for Hop on Calls listeners. So check out Kixie. It will change your game for sure.
Yeah, quite frankly, if you are someone who is dialing because you want to get after it, you want to control your destiny in terms of sales, and you're willing to put in the work, you need the right tool to do it. And again, going back to outreach sales off these classic dialers, it's not the best tool. If you actually want conversations, grab you a Kixie, grab that trial, give it a shot for a week. You're going to realize you've had not 6 opportunities at bats that week, but you've had 16, you've had 30, you've had 40. And I've seen this happen over and over again. You're just simply wielding the wrong tool. You've got the right frame for it. You've got the drive. You've got the heart. It's the wrong tool.
Tools make all the difference. It really does. My boy Jasper helping me out with the shortened link here. My bad.
Feel free to jump in, Kevin. I'm working on connects here, but not going well. So feel free to pick up.
Yeah, if I hit first, you can pause. Vice versa.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But I am back live.
I was spoken to Heap to hoping to speak to Zach Etra. Is he available? ETRA. E as an echo. This is Jack.
Hey, is this Courtney?
Fellow SDR leader here. Was calling him to ask his feedback on something I'm working on. How do you get past gatekeepers? We're going to see if I got past or not. I'll probably hit the voicemail. I didn't handle that well. I totally swapped letters.
Yo, I did a webinar with my boy James Buckley on how to get past gatekeepers last week. Look that up.
Okay.
Content. And I got one to dial back after we find out if you got through or not.
Okay, cool. Sounds like I'm still on a hold line. Could be a good sign. I'm not getting sent straight to voicemail. I'll wait one more click, and I'm going to drop. That's another thing. Don't wait 3 minutes on hold. Just go call the next person.
Yes. That's actually a good point. You know, one of the things that...
no worries. I'll give him a call back later. Thank you. You too. All right. Go ahead. Sorry.
So one of the things that you and I know from being in the trenches for literally years, right, is there is a sweet spot in terms of how much time and effort you put into one individual prospect, one individual call. Like it's never okay to spend probably, 3 minutes or more, like more than 3 minutes on hold, hang up and go do something else, right? Move on, right? Like you don't want to sit there and just wait on hold. Danny McCormick, what is the podcast called? It's actually called Hop on Calls. You can find a link to it on any platform that you listen to podcasts. If you just search Hop on Calls, search my last name, Hop, on any platform. But if you scroll back up in the comments, I have a direct link. You can hear both sides of the conversation.
Are you in the dial queue?
I will be in a second. This is a good point. Isn't Kixie one of the oldest in the sales tool game? The answer is yes. Kixie's been around for a long time. Started as a telephony platform. It's as good a time as any to highlight that we are using Kixie's power call system. Now, what that means is this is their sales dedicated functionality that allows us to call multiple people at once. I don't think this has been around forever. I have a feature on right now that's called Connection Boost. So every time that I'm dialing out, I'm dialing from a grade A number that's going to show up as an actual, not spam likely number. And it's part of the magic. It's part of how we are getting so many live conversations right now. Go check out Kixie. Super affordable and crazy deep integrations to any CRM and tool that you kind of have out there. So big fan. I'm back in the queue, by the way.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to, for some of you out there, you're like, wait, how do you get into these conversations? Grab a friend, even if they're not at your company, someone you can go dial with, grab a friend, spin up a trial, and just go dial together for a week. I promise you it'll be so much fun. You're going to learn
Brandon?
so much.
Hey, is this Brandon? Hey, Brandon, how you doing? Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group here. Hi, I know I'm calling you a bit out of the blue here. Did I catch you with a minute to have a cold conversation, or are you heads down, super busy? It would be about work stuff. You have a minute to talk work stuff? Sometimes people think that I'm a telemarketer or that, that like I'm calling to get your credit card information. I'm not. My name's Kevin. I run my own company. It's called Hopp Consulting Group. I work directly with B2B SaaS businesses to help them establish a strong calling culture inside of their sales organization by leveraging structure, process, and of course, best-in-class technology. Brandon, I was curious, does your sales organization have a strong calling culture? You guys don't do any outbound sales at all? And he hung up. Wow, that was interesting. He said, we don't do any outbound. Thank you. And then he hung up.
You know what I love about what you said, though? Work stuff. Like, what are you calling about? Work stuff. It's hilarious. It's a pattern interrupt. And if you say anything else, I'm calling about XYZ solution, they're like, not interested. Thanks. Bye. Work stuff is like, okay, what do you mean work stuff? And then you get them with a nice opener. So well done, Kevin. That was great.
Yeah. And that's something that I've started to lean into, the work stuff thing. I like to say work stuff because you are fighting, and this is like, I made a post about this on LinkedIn the other day. Like when you're calling as a B2B salesperson who, like you're selling something that's valuable. You work with actual clients. Like you're not a spammer. We're not saying, hello, I was trying to reach you because the vehicle service department is da-da-da, and all that. Like when you're an outbound sales pro, you are fighting all of that. Like I'm trying to differentiate myself every single time. I'm not a spammer. I'm not, just plaguing your inbox with crazy stuff. I'm not calling to find out your social security number. And fun fact, that's normally what I say. I normally say social security number. Brandon's Canadian. So I saw the little flag on the number next to it on Kixie. There's a little flag, and I was like, "Ooh, not going to mention social security number." He'll instantly be like, "You don't even know that I'm Canadian,"
Right.
And you want to build as much trust and rapport right away. So don't mention things that are not relevant.
I think to Kevin's point with all of the stuff we're fighting against, that's why we just need to loosen up and have fun. Have a plan, go in with a plan, but loosen up. If you can get that other person to laugh, you have a guaranteed conversation. If you can get them to chuckle or even pause and be like, what did you just say? Like that's enough to break that pattern where then you can have a conversation with them and they're engaged. So just loosen up, like get rid of the buzzwords, get rid of the business language, stand up, throw a silly hat on, find some friends to dial with, and just go call people, have conversations.
And can they use Call Blitz for free?
For sure. Yeah, that's the whole point. Let's go. If you want to dial with people in real time, anyone, anywhere, anytime, jump on Callblitz.
Callblitz is a
app.callblitz.com.
collaboration platform. You guys need to check it out. Jack's about to drop a link to callblitz.com in the comments section, so you guys can all go check it out for free. Mark Mack, last week's guest. Mark, love that you're here. Thanks for commenting. Appreciate that. And he says that this is the difference between elite cold callers and not. It's getting people to laugh on the phone. Very, very true. Very, very true.
Kevin, I actually don't know how to drop a link, dog.
Yeah, you got to go to the actual event page, which I can do for you real quick.
Okay,
here.
Cool. I'm going to hit dial while you're doing all that.
Do it.
Bad number. Voicemail.
Man, I hope we get a meeting set today. Let's go at the same time. I'm gonna jump in because I want to get a meeting.
Let's go. Yeah, I'll just mute if you gotta connect.
I'm in. I'm dialing. Phone's ringing.
Mark Mack in the house.
Mark Mack. Dude, he's giving you mad props.
We need him out here. He'll give us a master class.
Who, Mac? Mark was on last week.
I know. I need him to come teach me live.
Oh, yeah. Mark Mac's always a good time. I'm in the queue. My phone is ringing.
You can find me in the queue.
Dennis, how you doing? Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group here. Yeah, my name's Kevin. I'm with a company called Hopp Consulting Group. I can tell that you're driving right now. Are you hands-free or are you juggling? Yeah, I was hoping to have a conversation with you about work stuff, Dennis. Probably not a good time, huh? Specifically around sales. Dennis, is now a good time to have the conversation or? Awesome. Yeah, wow. Okay, so Dennis might go into, you know where he might go for me? He might go into not a phone lead because he was sarcastic and angry with his tone right out the gate, right? And when I said work stuff, he said, what work stuff? And I said, about sales. And he said, what about sales? You don't know what you're talking about, do you? And he was like kind of rude to me. So we don't have time for that. We don't have time for people who are going to be rude on the phone. So not a phone lead. And I hope everybody kind of takes this, to the bank, right? Like take it to the bank. Not a phone lead should be a disposition. That means that you're going to take a guy like Dennis and you're not going to call him back. You're going to take him out of any active queue that he's in, any active like sequence or whatever. And you're going to reach him via email or LinkedIn, but you got to mark his record in your system as don't call this guy. Because some people don't like to be, it's like I'm probably in 70 different companies' databases as don't email. Because every time I'm on an email list, I unsubscribe. Like I attend a webinar or I go inbound and get a white paper or something like that. And then they send me some marketing stuff. And as soon as it hits my inbox, I hit unsubscribe every single time. So I'm the kind of guy who's in everybody's databases. Don't email. But if, I rarely get cold calls, rarely. But if a rep wants to pick up the phone, my cell phone number is on my LinkedIn profile. Like people don't call me. But if they do call me, I take cold calls,
By the way, everybody's trapped with no cash. So if you cold call me, there's nothing to sell me, but I'll talk to you. Give me a call.
There you go. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. And I marked Dennis is not a phone lead.
The disposition should really be like bad apple.
Bad apple. Well, you never know, right? You never know.
It's true.
Austin Kittleson asking if I'm working with Jasper. Yes, I have a partnership with Kixie, and Jasper is with Kixie. My boy Doug Moscaret. Here we are. Good disposition. Love that. Good stuff. Are you is the phone ringing on your side?
Jumping back in.
Okay. I'm gonna do the same. Let's try and get a little meeting here. That would be really nice.
Preparation is key, y'all. I mean, I came in with a list, wasn't working, had to pivot on this new list, got through like 30 dials, and now the formatting's off. So make sure you take that time to come in prepared. Makes all the difference because I'm in my zone right now. Like if I could knock out another 30 dials right now, I'd be on fire. But now I've got to pause, step back, focus, go in prepared.
Process, baby. Process. I'm just over here just going. I just made 6 calls. So now I'm calling my 7th person right now since the last conversation I had. It's that easy.
Not bad at all.
It's quick. Ed, how you doing? Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group here. Yeah, my name's Kevin Hopp. I run my own company. It's called Hopp Consulting Group. Did I catch you with a minute to have a cold conversation, or you heads down on something? Yeah, I don't mind if you're eating lunch. Go ahead and put me on speakerphone. No, that makes sense. So, the reason I was reaching out, I work with B2B SaaS companies to help them form a strong calling culture inside of their sales organization, Ed. And I didn't know if your sales organization today, if you guys have a strong calling culture, if you're doing things like this, having cold calls. Okay, so you guys don't make a lot of cold calls? So you do more outbound than inbound. Or did you mean to say that the other way around? Okay. You don't make cold calls. A lot of times when I hear founders say that their organization doesn't make cold calls, it generally stems from a belief that cold calling is either really difficult, it's old-fashioned, cold calling is dead. That's a really common thing that people say. And they say, well, how are we going to go to market? Well, we can't cold call because it's not 2002 anymore. Like does anybody cold call? There you go. Exactly. I am actually cold calling you, and I got your contact information as a founder and had you in an entire structure and process using technology to make the phone call as well. So that's what I teach organizations, and a lot of people don't even know that there is a way to do modern outbound sales and actually have live conversations. In the last hour, you're the 5th founder that I've spoken to directly on the phone. Would you be open-minded to scheduling time to have a high-level discussion with me about kind of how you guys are doing sales, and we could see if it makes sense to look at your outbound sales process together? Okay, and what's going to be different in 6 months besides it being 2023? Okay. Do you guys have a fundraising round or there's like some M&A going on? Generally, when I hear people say reach out in 6 months, they know something is going to happen in 3 months or 4 months, which is going to change the way that they're looking at their business, right? So is that the case for you? Okay. You also mentioned that you're the tech guy. Maybe there's someone at Untapped that I should reach out to directly that might be a better fit for the conversation. No, I totally get it. And I don't want to interrupt people that are busy if everything is hunky dory, as they say, right? Meaning if you guys have go to market nailed, you guys are hitting all your targets, you guys have more new conversations with prospects than you can handle, you got inbound demand going through the roof, it makes no sense to talk to a guy like me. You'd only want to talk to a guy like me if you're thinking, how do we get more in less time? How do I get more conversations with target prospects in less time? But if you have that equation kind of figured out, it makes no sense to talk to someone like me. For now, you do. And that's part of why you wanted me to reach out in 6 months, right? Awesome. Well, Ed, if you don't mind, I'm going to connect with you on LinkedIn. If you were me and you were going to follow up in a few months, should I call someone else on your team? Like, who should I call? All right, that's totally fair, Ed. So why don't we do that? Last question for you. What do I hear you? Are you eating soup or is that a salad? Soup or salad? I'm based in Southern California. How about you? Wow. Fantastic. Yeah, you got me hungry here, not gonna lie. That sounds delicious. Sounds delicious. Well, Ed, I'm gonna let you, yeah, I'll let you get back to your meal there. I know that you're enjoying that. Well, thanks for taking a cold call. You know, some people say cold calling is dead, but I just learned a whole lot about your organization. I'm going to connect with you on LinkedIn. Hopefully, when I follow up in a few months from now in the new year, we'll have a better conversation. It might be the right time to engage. I could help you solve some problems, but we'll find out then, Ed. All right. Cheers. Come on. That's got to be like the world record for longest cold call without setting a meeting.
I love it.
That's
I love what you said, and it's actually a great follow-up technique. Whenever you get that referral, now he was, I think, referring to himself, and Kevin, the question was, hey, what would be the best way to follow up with you, or are you the best person? If someone gives you a referral, ask the person giving the referral, hey, is there anything about Susie that would get her attention? Like, what is Susie into? Does she like dogs? Does she like, I don't know, baseball? And if you actually ask that, sometimes they'll tell you like, oh, she's like a mad Marvel fan, and you should send her something about Marvel or something like that. So just something fun to try, and might get the attention.
Yeah. So Ed was the, once again on my list, right? He's a CTO. He's the co-founder, but he's a CTO. So I knew I was barking up kind of the wrong tree. He did mention, he's like, yo, we do way more inbound than we do outbound. Then when he asked follow up with me in 6 months, did everybody realize that I did not just say, okay, sure, follow up with you in 6 months. Can't wait. Bye-bye. Right. I once, Jack, tell me if you've ever seen this, but I was coaching a BDR one time and the guy said, follow up with me in a year and a half. And the BDR said, awesome. I will. I'm looking forward to it. I actually just put it in my calendar. Talk to you then. And I was like, no. Oh my God. It's a classic brush off. But one of the things that when people give me a specific date or time, which he did, 6 months from now, I will always ask what's going to change between now and then. Like, why 6 months? And I didn't just say it flat out. What did I say? I said, generally, when people tell me to follow up in 6 months, it's because XYZ might happen in between. And by leading him, like kind of leading the witness a little bit and saying like, hey, like, what do you think about this? Like, are you guys going to run into a round of funding? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? I'm trying to get him to open up. So he didn't really open up in a big way, but he loved talking about his lunch. He had a meal kit service that he was eating. So, all right. Well, that's all that we have time for today. We have hit time. Thank you everybody for coming. Tune in next week for more live cold calling. Every Tuesday at 10 a.m. I'm going to be here making live cold calls. Jack, thank you so much for jumping on with me today. Last second, shout out to Maria Bros. Hope your family is safe. That got a sick kid. We hate hearing that. But Jack saved the day here. Thank you so much for coming on. And Jack, do you want to leave a link to your profile in the comments? Maybe I'll drop that for you. Is that the best way to connect with you?
Yeah, I can drop it right now. I finally figured out how to do this. So no, thanks for having me on, man. You are a goat for being out here live, real time, giving it a shot. And all of you listening, the best way to learn how to cold call is to do it and use the right tool. So plugging Kixie, I get nothing from Kixie, by the way. Plugging Kixie, get that tool in your hand for a week for free. It'll be a blast. And I'm dropping my profile in the comments right now.
Love it. All right, man. Let's call it a day. I'll see you later. Cheers.